About the head of departments. Head of departments based on the subjects. All right. Let's say if you have about the head of departments. Head of departments based on the subjects. All right. Let's say if you have about the head of departments. Head of departments based on the subjects. All right. Let's say if you have about the head of departments. Head of departments based on the subjects. All right. Let's say if you have about the head of departments. Head of departments based on the subjects. All right. Let's say if you have about the head of departments. Head of departments based on the subjects. All right. Let's say if you have about the head of departments. Head of departments based on the subjects. All right. Let's say if you have about the head of departments. Head of departments based on the subjects. All right. Let's say if you have about the head of departments. Head of departments based on the subjects. All right. Let's say if you have about the head of departments. Head of departments based on the subjects. All right. Let's say if you have about the head of departments. Head of departments based on the subjects. All right. Let's say if you have about the head of departments. Head of departments based on the subjects. All right. Let's say if you have about the head of departments. Head of departments based on the subjects. All right. Let's say if you have about the head of departments. Head of departments based on the subjects. All right. Let's say if you have about the head of departments. Head of departments based on the subjects. All right. Let's say if you have about the head of departments. Head of departments based on the subjects. All right. Let's say if you have about the head of departments. Head of departments based on the subjects. All right. Let's say if you have about the head of departments. Head of departments based on the subjects. All right. Let's say if you have about the head of departments. Head of departments based on the subjects. All right. Let's say if you have about the head of departments. Head of departments based on the subjects. All right. Let's say if you have about the head of departments. Head of departments based on the subjects. All right. Let's say if you have about the head of departments. Head of departments based on the subjects. All right. Let's say if you have about the head of departments. Head of departments based on the subjects. All right. Let's say if you have about the head of departments. Head of departments based on the subjects. All right. Let's say if you have about the head of departments. Head of departments based on the subjects. All right. Let's say if you have about the head of departments. Head of departments based on the subjects. All right. Let's say if you have about the head of departments. Head of departments based on the subjects. All right. Let's say if you have about the head of departments. Head of departments based on the subjects. All right. Let's say if you have about the head of departments. Head of departments based on the subjects. All right. Let's say if you have about the head of departments. Head of departments based on the subjects. All right. Let's say if you have about the head of departments. Head of departments based on the subjects. All right. Let's say if you have about the head of departments. Head of departments based on the subjects. All right. Let's say if you have about the head of departments. Head of departments based on the subjects. All right. Let's say if you have about the head of departments. Head of departments based on the subjects. All right. Let's say if you have about the head of departments. Head of departments based on the subjects. All right. Let's say if you have about the head of departments. Head of departments based on the subjects. All right. Let's say if you have about the head of departments. Head of departments based on the subjects. All right. let's say if you have
on from there. And if you've got any questions at this stage as well, feel free to just hang up and address that directly too. On from there. And if you've got any questions at this stage as well, feel free to just hang up and address that directly too. On from there. And if you've got any questions at this stage as well, feel free to just hang up and address that directly too. On from there. And if you've got any questions at this stage as well, feel free to just hang up and address that directly too. On from there. And if you've got any questions at this stage as well, feel free to just hang up and address that directly too. On from there. And if you've got any questions at this stage as well, feel free to just hang up and address that directly too. On from there. And if you've got any questions at this stage as well, feel free to just hang up and address that directly too. On from there. And if you've got any questions at this stage as well, feel free to just hang up and address that directly too. On from there. And if you've got any questions at this stage as well, feel free to just hang up and address that directly too. On from there. And if you've got any questions at this stage as well, feel free to just hang up and address that directly too. On from there. And if you've got any questions at this stage as well, feel free to just hang up and address that directly too. On from there. And if you've got any questions at this stage as well, feel free to just hang up and address that directly too. On from there. And if you've got any questions at this stage as well, feel free to just hang up and address that directly too. On from there. And if you've got any questions at this stage as well, feel free to just hang up and address that directly too. On from there. And if you've got any questions at this stage as well, feel free to just hang up and address that directly too. On from there. And if you've got any questions at this stage as well, feel free to just hang up and address that directly too. On from there. And if you've got any questions at this stage as well, feel free to just hang up and address that directly too. On from there. And if you've got any questions at this stage as well, feel free to just hang up and address that directly too. On from there. And if you've got any questions at this stage as well, feel free to just hang up and address that directly too. On from there. And if you've got any questions at this stage as well, feel free to just hang up and address that directly too. On from there. And if you've got any questions at this stage as well, feel free to just hang up and address that directly too. On from there. And if you've got any questions at this stage as well, feel free to just hang up and address that directly too. On from there. And if you've got any questions at this stage as well, feel free to just hang up and address that directly too. On from there. And if you've got any questions at this stage as well, feel free to just hang up and address that directly too. On from there. And if you've got any questions at this stage as well, feel free to just hang up and address that directly too. On from there. And if you've got any questions at this stage as well, feel free to just hang up and address that directly too. On from there. And if you've got any questions at this stage as well, feel free to just hang up and address that directly too. On from there. And if you've got any questions at this stage as well, feel free to just hang up and address that directly too. On from there. And if you've got any questions at this stage as well, feel free to just hang up and address that directly too. On from there. And if you've got any questions at this stage as well, feel free to just hang up and address that directly too. On from there. And if you've got any questions at this stage as well, feel free to just hang up and address that directly too. On from there. And if you've got any questions at this stage as well, feel free to just hang up and address that directly too. On from there. And if you've got any questions at this stage as well, feel free to just hang up and address that directly too. On from there. And if you've got any questions at this stage as well, feel free to just hang up and address that directly too. On from there. And if you've got any questions at this stage as well, feel free to just hang up and address that directly too. There as well. Again, talking about motivation, so that's kind of a negative motivating influence, hand up work on time, or else. This one's a positive. If you have success through the end of year results, then there is a scholarship here to reward that. So there's financial rewards for 80 plus ATARs, as you can see on the column graph here. And we recognise that the following year in February, March at the High Achievers Ceremony, where some of the graduates come back and they give advice on effective study habits that led to them achieving these results. Zaid and Nargiza spoke this year, and they said as good as I can, if not better, about how to get scores such as this, because they've been there more recently on the journey than someone like myself, and it really resonates with our students. What I do say to students though, what it means is extra motivation when the going gets tough, and also reward for students who are committed over an extended period of time. But what it doesn't mean is everyone gets money and gets to be on, the ATAR advertisement poster, because realistically at the start of last year or any given year, all the students want to achieve as high as they possibly can, but only 1/3 of our students got above an 80 last year, so they really do have to work for it and make sure they earn any of the rewards and satisfaction they get at the end of the year. One other thing is parent and student communication. We do want to keep you informed as often as possible about how your child's going, so we encourage our teachers to use Coolsys for a variety of reasons. Mr. Zecchi sent an email out today saying, Year 12 teachers, please try and use more positive Coolsys where you can, so parents are aware of when things are going well. But when tasks aren't submitted, we do ask teachers to put it up on Coolsys, just so you're aware of any overdue work and can assist at home to make sure it's submitted ASAP. And if tasks continue to be overdue long term, then we ask teachers to get on the phone and just give a quick update verbally to make sure that the message is being received. In terms of subject selection and changes, Mr. Cott mentioned that's one of the things that we do to try and make students are heading towards pathways that are most suited to them. So Year 12s have had many opportunities to refine subject selection at the beginning of Year 10, changes at the start of Year 11, halfway through Year 11, even at the start of Year 12, there was an opportunity for change. But for now, the final window for enrolling is closed last term because there's just too much work to catch up on at this stage if a student was to change. But students can drop a subject at any time as long as they meet the requirements to receive their SACE or an ATAR. So as long as they're doing 4 Stage 2 subjects and passed the research project last year, then if they're doing 5 this year, they can drop that 5th subject if the workload does get a bit too much for them. We've moved that to an online process, and this is the online subject variation form. My understanding was that it generated an automatic email to parents upon the student entering the email address in this box, but I've heard that some parents aren't receiving those emails, so I'm just going to work with Mohammed as our IT man to make sure that is the case. So that's a work in progress, that one. Not sure if everyone's getting those emails, but we're going to take a close look at that to make sure that is the case. Moving forward, I'm almost done. Mr. Cott said 10 minutes, and I'm going to take up 10 or maybe 11 if I possibly can. Thank you, Mr. Cott. I'll talk about the SACE all day if I could. So, Year 12's last timetable day is actually the end of term 3 officially. However, there is still Stage 2 exam revision classes and trial exams in the first 3 weeks of term 4. And then this is communicated directly to the Year 12 students towards the end of term 3. Come in for these days at these times for these lessons. Because as I said, we try and get a lot of the internal assessments done by the end of term 3. So certain subjects like society and culture, visual art that haven't got exams, we may not need to ask students to come in for those classes. They can go home, study school, use the time as they see best fit to prepare. And that's kind of what it looks like. This is last year's schedule. So you've got week 1, week 2, week 3, and this is how it looks. So there's no PE on there, there's no art on there. There's no maths on there at this stage. Mr. Sammy wrapped that up the week previously. So just pick and choose when you need to come in, we say to our students based on what this says. So I've been talking a little bit about exams. I just want to stress the importance of them towards final assessment results. I've shown this to teachers, I've shown this to students, and I think it's useful showing to parents as well. So on the left in each of these boxes, you'll see the total school assessment, which is worth 70% of the overall subject grade. And then you'll see the exam grade for each subject in the right-hand column. So we'll see for this particular subject, A-, pretty good result for 70% of this particular subject. But then the student really struggled with the exam and got a D grade, and that naturally resulted in the A going to high C, low B, possibly. A to a B, A plus to a C plus, A to a B minus, and the trend, this is just one subject, and I'm keeping this confidential for various reasons, but it's repeated across all the examined subjects. So this isn't just the students last year either, this has been a trend at Pinnacle College for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Generally, the examined subjects, the subjects with exams, the exam results tend to drop compared to the internal assessments. So what do we do about that? We ask to try and make sure that we're closing the gap, as I'm trying to reiterate to teachers, parents and students. So there's a few things that we're doing. So Elevate sessions, staff and students. We have some, remember the Elevate sessions, Year 11s? We had some, I guess, university students who are high achievers come and talk about their experiences. They've sort of paid through the company, called Elevate, Effective Study Habits. Some of these sessions are directed specifically to exams, how to prepare for an exam, how to effectively note take, how to effectively revise. Mr. Zecchi's organising it this year for them to come in. So particularly putting emphasis on those sessions. Again, High Achievers Assembly. Zaid said what he did to have success in his exams, as did Nargiza. He used the study guide, trial exams. They said that, up to 7 or 8 trial exams for a subject they find difficult. Practice. There's only so many ways the examiners can spin the information because the content doesn't change much year on year. So if you do 7 or 8 trial exams, then you're going to expose yourself to more scenarios. There'll be less surprises come exam day. Department meetings, teachers sharing best practice about how to, support students in their subjects. Mr. Sammy's taught chemistry, Mr. Knox taught chemistry. They kind of bounce off each other, get best ideas on how to support students. Thorough planning, making sure that we finish everything well ahead of term 3 to make sure there's enough revision time for those trial exams to go through the subjects, subject-specific guide. And transparency, and that's the point of this, right? Making everyone aware early in the piece how important exams are to make sure that, students are prepared accordingly. They are important, but we don't want to overstress them too much, right? I'm sure when some of you went through school as parents, the waiting was even greater. I was talking to my dad in his 70s, and he was saying it was 100% when he was in school. So fortunately, it's 30% now, but we can see the effect it does have, So yes, they are important. Yes, a good amount of stress allows students to prepare effectively, but we don't want to overdo it and put too much of a burden either. And this is just an example of biology. So this is Ms. Young's plan. She was happy for me to share it. She's trying to finish the content by about week 7. So then she's got 8, 9, and 10 for going through past exams, trial exams, and going through the study guide. And then that way, trial exams can be given over the term 3 holidays, and more can be done in the first few weeks of term 4. And most teachers follow similar programs. Almost done. Bear with me. Thanks so much for your patience this late in the evening. The students have been at school all day listening to me talk. So VET, vocational education and training. So hands up, who's currently enrolled in the VET course in the room at the moment? We've got 3 or 4 out of the 5 or 6 students. I'd probably say a third of our Year 12s are enrolled in the Certificate 3 VET course that we offer through Foundation Education. How it works, it has the ability to replace a certain subject's result. Here's an example. So this student in previous years gone by, they did English, physics, biology, and mathematics as their stage 2 Year 12 subjects. Research project was done in Year 11. As you can see, the scores are out of 20, and then 12 out of 20 was their lowest result for maths. English 18, great job, 16 and 15, physics and biology. So what the Business Cert 3 and VET course does is it creates the average of the top 3 and then replaces the lowest score. So instead of 12 out of 20 counting towards the overall result, that 16.4 average replaces the 12, and then they get extra points to their aggregate. And how that works is, that 16.4 resulted in them having a 73.9 aggregate out of 90. That converted to an ATAR of 86.3. Without the 16.4 VET average, if the 12 from maths went towards their result, then their ATAR would have been 80.3. So for that particular student, it gave them a 6-point difference towards their ATAR. However, this is an extreme example. This student clearly found maths to be difficult, and VET was a safety net for them. If their maths score was 16, then difference between their lowest score and the average is not going to be so great. So sometimes students only get an extra 1 to 2 points from that average in the aggregate. It's not for everyone because it runs independently and not as a subject at school, and so students have to trust their independent study skills to take up this course. It costs nearly $800 for the 12 months, but students need to get it done before the end of term 3, so it counts towards their results. And yeah, it's not as simple as it's seen above because it's time consuming and at times challenging, and students will be juggling their workload whilst that's going on. And here we only do the surgery in business as well. We're a small school compared to some of the bigger schools across the state that have specific vet coordinators. It's just one part of my role, and unfortunately I don't have the time to set 10 different students up in certificate 3 in business and then fitness and then hairdressing and then beauty. It's just unfortunately not practical at this stage in our school's journey. But for the business course, they do like for example, supporting personal wellbeing in the workplace, writing workplace documents, maintaining financial records, generally things you'd encounter in your average office setting. All right. Hopefully that wasn't too far over 10 minutes. That's me done. Does anyone have any questions at this point in time? Like I said, if you want this information, you're welcome to email me and I can send some of it through, or we can talk later on separately. Thanks.
Next question. Yes. Start. Yeah. Start. Yeah.
Alrighty. When everyone's been sitting for a long time, so we'll stand up, we'll stand up, be good. We'll stand up, be good. We'll stand up. The first one up. The first one up. Reach for the roof. Reach for the roof. Alrighty, so as someone we have two councillors at Nelly, this is Jessie Saturday, this is Jessie girl 2 days ago, so these weeks. Miss Nelly had to leave early, early, education coordinator, the counselling department comes under the counselling department. I'll have a quick rundown of the walk, So the emotional social year for the year for our students, to make sure that we just look after the also the who looked after the also the chapter, also the chapter. Okay. Alright. What the council is everybody these sometimes treat all students, sometimes treat all timely basis. A lot of times I also notice that during a lot more during the time exam, when a lot of assessments starting to happen, and a lot of times it's something like so they're pretty okay, that they get pretty okay, that they get stressing, pretty okay again, stressing, pretty okay again, so we're pretty on one of the debrief sessions, sometimes some stress, sometimes family have things, family or seeing things, they can always pop in, this is just Nelly's office, she just basically know where it is, they want to know where it is, then we also started being lunches, so that was a good idea, the session was actually during Juma time, so only about 2 or 3 kids go actually, so this term, once we get people that are with more 2 or 3 times a week, during the study period, so they can every couple of weeks, have a bit of chill, sit down, have a chat with the counselors, chat with each other if they want to, like that. It's for a fun little session, so it's a bit of a break as well. The suggestions to where that's something that Miss Nelly has, that's something that Miss Nelly has a lot of times that brings as well, so a lot of times that it's also students don't know where to have a chat with them. Parents are always interested in hearing ideas, so there are some plans in place, obviously until they get action for them. We can't really say what's going to work. So if you have any ideas, I have sent one out a survey as well, trying to get ideas from them about how activities that they want to learn, I've only had about 6 or 7. Some hoping that the students will then respond back to that in the future because the two councillors, already Jesse and Snelly, already know if you have any questions. Now we move on to my part. Which is how we're supporting our students and how we're supporting our students. So within my role, essentially I help support students for these students primarily, but also provide support onto the struggling primarily for the ILC students who have some sort of emotional, social. A lot of times we do support students who might just have a chat with me. A lot of time I chat with me, and a lot of time topics there are topics and then I'll pop into my office and things like that. So that's what we do. So with the SSS, constant revision exam, a lot of students for the exam, a lot of students will come up short about this. Sadly, 10 minutes before his test, to ask me a whole bunch of questions on the which question exactly is not really I can help you much in 10 minutes, but we try to get much in 10 minutes, but we try to get so it's probably best to do a little bit earlier, and also with earlier planning. So notice that breaking that assignment down and breaking that assignment very down helps very some lines, just helps students through that assignment. As I mentioned, we have ongoing. I've also started doing one week. Also a lot of time is going on. Class, question embarrassed, and I'm too shy. So a lot of times kids ask me about time stressing. They're like, how to do this stressing. Tension. They still don't know how to manage tension properly. When I do at home, I get lazy. When I do at home, I get lazy. They play video games. Their own sort of habit to their own sort of. So what I've done is I've done scenarios. Let's see what your life is different. And then based on that we find time. Around that where they can study. Very anxious. Their mom was emailing me as well. Had the time back and said she better for last week. She's actually been using strategies. And another thing we'll learn about is so taking things like that. So take basics like that. So basic program as well. The last year for the year levels, now have all the notes. How to take it forward as well. How to when we spoke with Mrs. Sammy, he suggested last year he suggested every subject will take biology or will take maths biology. So what we started to do is exemplars, sort of notes exemplars, and the students have any questions they can place examples on how to take this class. And also we researched one other thing how to do this is they might know how to Google stuff, but how to find suitable, peer-reviewed, very reviewed articles. It's very important for them. I'm showing them without things like that, and expand their search parameters in that way. Like I said, we survey as well. Only 6 surveys as well. Only 6 or 7 so I'm going to send it out again. Some of them that we started doing it, all know about it. Kids would know about it about recess and lunch. What is that we do about recess and lunch? For them to have a bit of stress relief, so they look at soccer, volleyball, basketball. There's only so many kids, 14 teams that want to play, and the 14 teams that want to play, and the teams had like 3 teams, and every exercise line was being used, it gets quite hectic after that, but we are trying to wrap some basketball games for me, volleyball games, so that suggests some volleyball games as well. Been happening really well. Some of the plans that we have nowadays, so the student wellbeing activities, will help students on how often we do that, how often with students, how effective. The year 12 students can, like I said, the students will be attending actually before the test, and be time saying math, not saying for an hour is math, for an hour is some students are required, let's say, what is sending us that, it's not so to sending back, it's so to sometimes it's contents illustrated, sometimes it's contents illustrated, sometimes we find it challenges, sometimes we find it challenging. Organising meetings with students, organising meetings, still all the hands I'll get, still all the hands I'll get, some of the teachers in the hand, or some of the teachers a little bit able to struggling about it, so I'll have a chat with them first, so I'll have a chat with them first, and then see what needs to be done, and then you can see the content there, and you can see I'll also inclusive education guidelines in regards to education guidelines in regards to extension. So one of that we do is also we gave some extensions by a week, some extensions what ended up happening was what ended up happening was for a week, one teacher gave the extension for a week, for another teacher gave the extension for a week, another 3 assignments ended up being the same assignments, even though there were extensions, even though there were extensions that we could calendar, the helps that we extension dates in there. So we learned that in there. So we learned that in there. We're going to start thinking. So we are learning as we are going. So we are learning as we are going. And also further involvement of parents. And also further involvement, like I said, that we do contact the parents now. Contact the parents question now. Very important question. It's very important to ask. Any questions about the counseling? Any questions about the counseling or the inclusive ed side of things?
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. I'm an English teacher here. Discussing my role as career. So yeah, as an English teacher, obviously, sort of in the classroom, trying to facilitate your study from the doldrums of tendency, the doldrums of life, something like that. That's but as a role, career advisor, right? So why did I also look at what I do and how I approach it? We have interviewed. Probably the biggest part. So many of the students in the room tonight. Already had with that. And it sort of just runs into a child's interest in, where the child is interested in, where the strengths that they would like to do, think that they would like a university or for further study. Now, it's quite a daunting thing. 16-17-year-old child, 16-17-year-old child, what are you going to do for the rest of your life? We need to understand that, and that's okay. But so obviously the primary direction I get a lot of the time is on university. That's fine. So my role, basically give your child as much information as much involvement around as can, area that subject like to do, career. I get a lot of big hits so far, big hits and messes. About 900 doctors coming out of this lawyers, and it's all very science-based. So what I do is look at what subjects, what grades are, what the grades are, realistic, right? Next Prime Minister, but if you can't go there, and then so we look at what your grades are, we look at what your grades are, and what your ATAR might be, and then how do we best get your child into the university, right? Now, there's a lot of different ways to do that. Grades. It's not just like you didn't get the grade from pathways. So I reiterate that to them a lot. Vet and trade options, and those students be interested in those. So that more hands-on training, so training, academically blind students, obviously many different ways here. We go through all the different university options, and with year 11s, so they have the prerequisites in subjects that they need in order to then be selected into that university. What the plan is year, this is my first year, what I'm going to do, and I've already lined up is Adelaide University, Adelaide University, University of Australia, Leeds University, so I'm going three here in Canada. So come from those universities and speak, sort of give a bit of an overview of how the university runs, what sort of is popular at the university, how a day in the life of a university, being it's very different to being at school.
I think that'll go very well. I've also got lined up different industries. I think that's in some industry. I work with decades for decades teaching, and what is seen in say the minute is seen on TV. It's very glamorized. It's very glamorized. So I think it's important to have people who actually live things and to talk positions and children about what the day in the life as they look like for a lawyer or any doctor or tradesman or anything. I think that would be beneficial. So that would be beneficial. So they would be able to tell how they got the job, children, what it's like to do every day, what it's like to do every day, if it's enjoyable or if it's good, and how. I've also got lined up. I'm going to send out soon. Invitations to career. They're free. Go along. All the different universities have all the different universities have stands, and you can go and ask questions, and you can go and ask questions, see what the entryways, sort of things exist in that as well. And yeah, that's pretty much the bulk. That's pretty much the bulk of my role. Feel free anytime. You want to email as well. Just send me anything. Fine. Any questions on that? Yeah. Any questions on that? No. Good.
Well, just a quick one. I'm just going down. Everything that is said down. Mine is more important. The reason why I say it's more important. I'm going to say it's more important. David made mention of by saying that in the olden days, have that sort of school, they have that sort of for exams every 17 in everything is so the same thing applies to students. When we look at how the challenges we face, they are not facing different days to hours in the sense that they are going through that, and we will notice that. This is a reality. We just because it's different because someone trying things and then things are also being. We live in a society today where social media has taken of the students and it's everywhere. And you go to houses. People are sitting together, but no one is just so this social media has taken students' life in the sense that we don't understand what we read. So because of that, when they complain about some issues, we don't get. So what I'm trying to draw our attention. We shouldn't look or judge to our upbringing. The way we should put ours totally aside. And try to understand this is different world. Unless we understand them, we will always have issues. So to say that my child needs to be 100% in all subjects, I'm just going to say that it's not just going to say that it's not good at something. They will be good at something, and they know that is just how life is. The reality I want you to look at your child. How do you check your child? Are you looking at your child? Are you looking at the digits that they get by the digits that they get by the end of their successful? Or you look at them in the society I'm proud to have this child. So don't put that child that is not training that you give them a training that advice and whatever advice and whatever environment you try to put them neglect all that and say unless they get with their self. When you do that you're not because we know when we go out you can look at your child and look at his child and look at his age or her age alhamdulillah this child. So that part we want to always. So when we talk about students, I'm looking at parents. Definitely, you will sit there as our career advisor. I want my child to be a doctor. Because that is my perception. What a successful person might be. Some people out there that you look maybe they were in Europe, maybe they were even school dropped out. So it's not always what you did have them to see what or we want to see them in or we want to see them in children are ready. So we want to try our best, rethink and also think without our kids, think without their potentials. Let's see their potentials. Let's see what they are home and say every day how can he become a doctor? How can he become a doctor? Alright, so try to understand your child's potential so that you can support them. That's the reality. We live in Australia. We're not living in anywhere else. We're not living in whatever profession you hold here. So when we change that, we will help the children instead of we will help more stress on them. Because in most cases that's what the parents are giving stress at home. And then teachers have to just carry them. To the extent sometimes when kids are not doing well, parents tend to blame teachers. When the kids do well, that's where parents come out and say, that's our children. We are all part of it. When they do well, we are all proud of it. When they don't do well, we are all proud of it. It's not just you. When they don't, we are not just teachers and part of it. We are also not just you. So we are not just teachers and leave them, but we are also their parents. Right. So when we sometimes tell you this is what is good for the child, we are not right. So when we sometimes tell you this is what is good for the child, we are not just trying that together we can your expectation. We are looking at so please let's take it easy so that together let's try to understand them in some way. So please sometimes when we sit down and look at let's try to understand what they're going through. Sometimes when we sit down and look at what they're going through, the information is in their heads. Let's deal with them. We are in the school with them. So we are in even outside school. We are in the except for some of us. Even outside school, we teach them how to do. We are some of us for no run over the class or we are coming in. We teach them how to do. We have holidays for no run over the class or we are coming in. We are always there with for you meet parents because we need you to take it easy. So we are always there with for you. Amazing. But we need within the school we are happy with those that you have amazing. And we know within the school we are happy with those that so together let's help them. And we know you are proud of them as well. So that's together let's help them. Don't put too much stress on them. Thank you so much. That's our advice to them. Thank you so much for
Okay, and this is the contact details, guys. If you take the photo of that one, contact details, guys. If you all of our email addresses here, you can see all of our email addresses. You can access those. You can see you can access those email addresses.
Brothers, and so I am coordinator for your self, and so I am the coordinator for your and the first time I would definitely want to get Mr. Nuri because of my career. I would definitely want to get Mr. Nuri. I know that I can't since this special order. But I'd like at the beginning we always ask ourselves what we want to become, but do you want to read like at the beginning we always ask ourselves what we want to become. And you want to read just I have told this or not. And I have told this parents I can convince them, no, I want them, I can about then if they have them, no, I want to go to action. If they have wasn't really just be easy to achieve, then I was really told that you want to do this. Then there was this one question. You had told that you want to do this. Yes, I like Mr. David mentioned. I had last time. Nargiza, my daughter. Yes, I like Mr. David mentioned. I had last year. Nargiza, my daughter. And yes, they are our children, of course. She modeled last year. And yes, they are our children, of course. When she modeled, but I asked only one question. I said, well, do you really believe that you are asked only one question? And she said, do you really believe that you are everything good? And she said, because if we believe it, we say that our children are doing everything they can. Because if we believe it, that our children are doing everything they can. They are doing their potential at maximum. capacity. Aligned with they should use everything possible every single minute or second. Aligned with they should use everything possible every single minute or second possible. Get support, spend with this. Do everything they can so that after 5 months they will have. Do everything they can so that after 5 months they like I mean I was easy day after one of the students like I mean I was just friends one of the birthday or one of the like I'm gathering and then after friends laptop there birthday all whole day like I'm gathering and then after her laptop there and the whole day something that's important enough to go there and it is not important then important enough to go there and it is not important then for birthday I believe obviously going to get a laptop need to work I believe on time without to get any laptop there's like to work and submit on time that not being there for birthday there's like the series but this is that being there for birthday and for another as a year 12 person I see like myself as a week and as a year 12 person I other than myself as a week they're not really or let's say anything there and this is for other than like I am here or let's say effort there and how for them away from my parents like I am here. At that time when I was resistant away from my parents. At that time when I was resistant, so my parents they were helping me actually. Because at that time maybe I was ready for me. Not let's say they were helping me smart enough to understand this, but now yes we understand. Not let's say as social media is understand this, but now yes but at the end as social media is catching me this I understand you, but at the end you're the same. Biology of the human did not change. Like I mean these are just distractions the same. We are old enough. Like I mean, these are just small enough to us ourselves. We are all the instruction, but I think it's small enough. You think that this will help ourselves? Yes, after 5 months. But can you just put as you think this excuse that as an excuse after 5 months? Or let's say can you just grade what you get? Excuse that as an excuse at the end. Or let's say your grade what you get. Or let's say that's fine. At the end, I really advise you, and that's why I'm here. So we are. At the end, I really advise you. And that's why I'm here. So we are 11. It's very overlapping. First of all, for every single subject teacher, I will ask to 11 case very overlapping. So like you advise subject teacher, I will ask let's say wake them up and you advise coordinating with the sales coders, everything. Let's say wake them up and the coordinates of sales coders, everything that is very well. This is why you may be having for this last 2 years. Phone calls, that's why emails, why communication, let's say different ways of communication, let's say emails, teacher, coordinator, communication coordinators, and teacher, subject teacher, coordinator, or different coordinators, and coordinators about 5 months. But and after 5 months, say they should never after 5 months over until it's too late. And after 5 months, now let's say regret or to say something else over until it's too late. That's why to now yes, regret or to if you know the case of our children, yes, we are that's why asking your yes, say we advise if you know to just overload, we are not asking your let's say advice to just overload them better. But for example, like in my daughter's we believe that they can advantage. Like many times I put some in, he is not necessarily what he can. I know. And many times I put some in, he is not necessarily what he can. Because I know teaching them biology last year, sometimes they would just and when I was they had done teaching them biology last year, sometimes they would just I know you. They had I know your capacity, if I know your potential. I know not to so if I know your capacity, if I know your potential, you cannot use confidence that you are doing your best. Let's say your best will not be expecting anybody else. And you've not really let's say your parents anything for other people other than your and you've not really just so what we are doing other people other than yourself. So what we are doing at least that much for your you should be the C and try at least that much for your teachers. At first like I mean so I'm there. So, here, I'm there, I may hear you, I may just hear you, I may sound like if I see, I may see you, I may just hear you, I may end you, intentional laziness, obviously, if I see this intentional laziness, let's say, obviously, if I see that I'm still getting great, there's no point, because I'm having the possibility of still getting great, overloaded, that push parents overloaded, but if I see the student can do that has or he or she has more potential, but if I see the student he can do better within this given short time, or he or she has more potential, he can do better within this given short time, yourself on my side and start giving more headache, and I will just and after yourself to my side will give them more headache. Because what we want now after they get a grade, we do want to say yes. What we want is after they get a grade, and we do want to say yes. That month I definitely like this, and this is my grade. And of course, thank you very much.
I think we are almost the end of the program, and so do you have any? We are almost the end of the gym program. Foreign is do you have any questions? So we just try to wrap up what we have done at the school grammar. So we just try to, we are in wrap up what we have done, and then whatever our prescription, we are individuals. And then whatever our prescription, we are living in the communication world. But on the other side, we don't communicate. We are living in the communication world. And on the other side, we don't communicate together like these kind of programs. And it's a great opportunity to come together like these kind of programs. If you have anything to say, it's a great opportunity. And we say express, email us. If you have anything to say, it's great. And we say yes. But after that, email us. Sit down and speak to you. Great eyes to say. After that, of course, you can sit down and speak to you. And you might have some questions or explain to us, and if you have, you might have some questions, we can directly explain to a lot of people here. If you have now, we can directly answer a lot of people here, and then directly answer. Okay, you're very happy. All right, that's nice. Yes, guys, I would like to give two statistics about the current generation. Yes, guys, I would like to give two statistics about the current generation. We change 1 to 3 jobs throughout the life, according to research. But the current generation change 1 to 3 jobs throughout the life. They're expecting 10. But the current generation, the upcoming current generation, normally they're expecting in order to get become an expert in one field. Normally, you need about 1,000 days become an expert in one field. Just think you need about 1,000 days minimum. Look at the. So we are in different jobs. That will 3 years, 45 years. They're not going to work 4 different jobs. So that's 3 years, 45 years. They're not going to work 45 years. Yeah? So that means, and the second negative statistics about it, and the second negative statistics about 10 years ago, human attention span. The attention span about 3 minutes for each task. That means the attention span about 3 minutes for each task. 2-3 years ago there was another focus on something. There was another research. 2-3 years ago there was another 45 seconds. There was another research. So that's why now that's dropped to 45 seconds. When the YouTube so that's why now the video is about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that. Now we have videos about 20 minutes because they get really bored and go to the next one. Now we have the YouTube shorts. So because they get really bored and go to the next one. Artificial intelligence knows more than us. So this is the reality. No, and then even I realize more than myself. So this is the real. I have seen that, and then even I realize myself. We have a lot of. Maybe you have seen that. We have the browsers on my phone. We have a lot of. So this is. I can see 100 on my life, and then I don't know. So this is. I can see, and these are the reality, and then I don't know. Thank you very much for coming, and we have. And these are the reality. Thank you very much for coming, and if they like to ask any questions, yes, very good individual. Ask us. And if you'd like to ask any questions, yes, individually, you can ask us. Thank you. Or then after that, or if you over the front. Thank you.